Chapter 5. Let's check it out. UK vehicle registrations by fuel type, 2020 and 2021. The table above shows UK vehicle registrations in 2020 and 2021 by fuel type, including information on the percent change from 2020 to 2021. According to the table, the number of diesel vehicles registered was 135,773 in 2021, falling by 48.1% from 2020. The registration of petrol vehicles also decreased in 2021 by 15.7% compared to the previous year, but the fuel type still remained the most popular, with 103 petrol vehicles registered. MHEV diesel and MHEV petrol vehicles, however, showed increases in registrations by 62.0% and 66.2%, respectively, from 2020 to 2021. In terms of percentage change, BEV was the fastest-growing fuel type in 2021, with an increase of 76.3%, although it was the second largest in total number of registrations. Overall, UK vehicle registrations grew 1.0% from 2020 to 2021, with 1,647,181 total registrations in 2021. Exercises. Number 1. Education spending as a share of GDP in selected countries, 2018. The above graph shows education spending as a share of GDP in selected OECD countries in 2018. 6 countries spent more than 5% of the total GDP, and they all spent more than the OECD average share of GDP, 4.8%. Norway spent the largest share of its GDP on education, with 6.7% in total among the selected countries, while the United States and Canada spent the same share of GDP at 3.5% in the primary, secondary, and post-secondary non-tertiary sector. Canada spent a smaller share of its GDP in the tertiary sector than the United States. When it comes to the tertiary sector, Italy had the lowest share of GDP at 0.9%, and its spending share of GDP in the primary, secondary, and post-secondary non-tertiary sector was less than Germany's. In the primary, secondary, and post-secondary non-tertiary sector, Russia spent the smallest share of GDP. Number 2. Sources of waste generation in the EU in 2004 and 2018. The above table shows the sources of waste generation and their changes in the EU in 2004 and 2018. From 2004 to 2018, total waste generation increased by 4.2%, from 779.5 million tons to 812 million tons. Manufacturing and households were the top 2 sources of waste in 2004. But the top 2 origins of waste in 2018 were waste, water, and households. Energy, which sat 4th on the 2004 list with 85.4 million tons, fell to 5th place on the 2018 list with 75.7 million tons. Wastewater generated 75.2 million tons of waste in 2004 and 207.6 million tons in 2018, which showed the biggest percentage increase of 175.9%. While agriculture, forestry, and fishing generated more waste than construction in 2004, it generated less waste than construction in 2018, showing the second biggest percentage decrease, minus 68.8% from 2004 to 2018. Number 3. Type of child care arrangement in Canada by age of child, 2017. The above graph shows the type of child care arrangement in Canada by age of child in 2017. Among parents with children aged 1 to 5, daycare or preschool center care was the most common type of child care used. More than 10% of parents with children aged 4 to 5 reported using a before or after school program, which was the type that parents with children aged 1 to 3 didn't use at all. However, for parents of 6 to 9-year-olds, a before or after school program was the most popular type of childcare arrangement. And in fact, more than 4 out of 10 of those parents reported using that type of childcare. Home daycare was the second most common childcare arrangement chosen by parents of children aged 4 to 5. But it was the second least popular type for those with children aged 10 to 12. The percentage of childcare provided in the child's home or other by non-relatives was higher in all groups in the survey than that provided in the child's home or other by relatives. Number 4. Ways that adults in the U.S. coped with stress as surveyed in February 2017 by age. The above graph shows the ways that adults in the U.S. coped with stress as surveyed in February 2017 by age. In all 3 age groups, the percentage of respondents who said they tried to endure stressful situations was the highest. The share of respondents who said they avoided stressful situations was the second highest in all 3 age groups, accounting for more than 20% in each age group. As for those aged 30 to 59, there was a 10 percentage point gap between the share of those who said they avoided stressful situations and the share of those who said they fought the causes of stress. Among those aged 60 years and older, the percentage of people who answered they fought the causes of stress was less than 1/5 of those who answered they avoided stressful situations. The response rate for both other and don't know among those aged 60 years and older was more than 10%, whereas it was less than 10% for those aged 18 to 29.